His intent was to murder Josh for his truck. He strangled him over and over again, tortured him. He tied him up like an animal, dropped him in a field, and set him on fire.
An illegal immigrant, intoxicated, hit him from behind, going probably 120 miles an hour.
He was killed on his way home from work on May 12, 2014 by a repeat illegal alien criminal who was driving drunk the wrong way over 35 miles and slammed head-on into my son.
A drunk driver that was here illegally pulled in front of my husband's ambulance, flipped over, and he and his partner both lost their lives in that accident.
Those are just a few of the heartbreaking stories of angel moms and dads, husbands and wives whose loved ones were killed by criminal illegal aliens. Join me now for our special series, Your Voice, Americans Speaking Up and Speaking Out, is Sam Vigil and his attorney, Robert Gorence. Sam's wife was killed in their driveway by an illegal alien who was a known criminal with a lengthy criminal history. Sam, first to you, if I could. I know this is tough, but could your wife's murder have been prevented?
Absolutely. You know, if we hadn't had the type of policies that we have here in Albuquerque, I really believe my wife would be alive today.
And specifically, you're talking about its declaration as a sanctuary city, right?
Exactly, yes. That's what happened here, yeah. Protecting people that shouldn't be here, you know, that illegally come into the country to commit crimes. That's really a sad situation for me and probably other people that have experienced the same thing that I did when the murder of my wife.
We're looking at pictures of your beautiful wife, and I'm just wondering, I mean, did she have any thoughts about these issues before she was murdered by a criminal illegal alien?
No, actually, my wife is an immigrant from Colombia. She came to this country legally and was a very proud American, you know. But no, there was no issues, I guess, in terms of you know, her status as a citizen here.
Now, Mr. Gorence, the city of Albuquerque claims that the ordinance, the Sanctuary City Ordinance, did not prevent local cops from arresting violent criminals, but if it didn't, why didn't they?
Well, there was so much information on this outrageous criminal, and the real issue is if they weren't done with their investigation, they just had to lift the phone and call the federal government because they knew his name. They knew he had just been back after having been deported the third time. But this insane policy prevented that, and that's what this lawsuit's about.
But they claim no. They claim that they were free to arrest. So, I mean, their response to your lawsuit is essentially condemning them because they admit that they could have done what they didn't do.
That's exactly. It's really ironic you say that because we pointed that out. I should tell you, after the lawsuit was filed, we reached out to the mayor and to the city to resolve this at Sam's request and really just get rid of this insane policy where this year alone, we have 20 homicides to date. Last year, the city of Albuquerque had 76. The vast majority of the 20 this year are still unsolved. And God only knows how many are committed by illegal aliens that are here only because of this policy, knowing that they have safe refuge. But anyway, they told us to pound sand, so we're going to litigate this and hold them accountable.
Well, Sam, as you well know, there are members of this new administration in Washington who are in favor of sanctuary cities. And in fact, Kamala Harris has spoken out in favor of it. She's our vice president. Other people in the administration have spoken out for it. What would you tell people who are considering, cities that are considering enacting a sanctuary cities rule about how dangerous it can be?
I would ask them to be very careful in terms of, you know, committing to those types of policies, simply because, you know, criminals are attracted to places like this where you have this kind of policies that actually protects them. You know, the scales of justice are tilted towards the criminal. Those of us that are victims really have very few rights when it comes to that. And that's really unfair because it puts the whole community at risk. Those policies are just not good policies for people living peacefully in the community.
Sam, how has your life changed after the death of your wife?
Oh, it's been terrible. You know, I've been struggling for now a little over a year, you know, after she was murdered, and it's impacted my whole family. We miss her, we loved her, and you know, she was the type of person that would always shine a bright light on a very dark day, and those are things that we will never see again, that we will never be able to bring that to us back again.
Sam, our prayers go to you and your family. She looks like a beautiful woman, and I'm so sorry that she's lost. And we wish you the very best in your legal pursuits against Albuquerque. Appreciate it. Thank you, Counselor, as well.